AP on it. We put a NVIDIA downpipe and an NVIDIA exhaust, as well as we did the springs from Swift, just to lower it a little bit, because I just think it needed that extra little bit for it to look right, and I added some parent 20mm spacers as well. So I think it looks wonderful. It looks like a Type RA should have out of the factory, but so far I'm really liking the car. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a wonderful family hauler. I always have my son in the back there in his own little Recaro seat. So let's talk about the car so far, the looks of the car, right? I love the looks of the car. If you're a Subaru fan, there's no way that you can't like the looks of the car. I love the wing that's ready to go hit the track. I love the carbon roof. I love the wheels. I really love the styling of the car. It sets it apart just a little bit from the standard STi, and of course that Type RA badging, which means the world to everybody. I love that Subaru put a front lip on it from factory. I wish they would have done the side skirts and the rear lip that they did on the S209. I don't know why they skimped out on that, so that's something that I have my eye on to purchase. I love the carbon spoiler, the fact that it's adjustable, so when you go to the track you can add a little more downforce. I think it's like 120% more downforce than the stock STi spoiler, which is absolutely amazing. The front splitter helps a lot as well to move the air, but the styling of the car I think is really, really good. I think it looks great. It's subtle. It's not too aggressive like the Civic Type R, which in my opinion, I love the Civic Type R, but I do think it is very aggressive. The Focus RS, you know, a wing and a bumper and a rear bumper that really didn't do much for me. I think with the STi Type RA, I think the big spoiler, the carbon roof, the front lip, the little things here and there, I think really kind of stood things apart for me. There we go. So that was fun. So let's go on to the brakes, right? We used the brakes a little bit just there. The brakes, I would say, are really good. They've got a firm pedal to them, a little firmer than most stock brake pedals that I've felt before on performance cars. Almost feels like you have a stainless steel lines, but you don't, from factory. The thing I'm disappointed on is not that the Brembos have been fantastic. It's the slotted rotors. If you're gonna build a car and say it's the TA, the record attempt car, or I'm sorry, the RA, the record attempt car, why would you put slotted rotors on it? Or not, why wouldn't you put slotted rotors on it? Why would you put cross-drilled rotors on it? Every track guy knows that cross-drilled rotors are terrible. They're gonna crack at the track. They are going to split. As soon as they get hot, they're gonna warp. Wonderful for the street, but when you're at the track, it's not what you want. So options for slotted rotors are not very good for this car yet. You can find the Brembo OEMs all day, but I don't want the cross-drilled. I want slotted or plain, so I can bring some to the track with me. Now, Giro Disc has a set, but they're $1,000 for the fronts. They are going to last a lot longer than just a plain disc or a slotted rotor, but I don't want to be going through rotors $1,000 a set and then another $600 for the rings, you know, every other time I hit the track, right? So the Giro Discs will probably last a year or two, where the stock ones, plain ones would probably last, you know, a little less longer. But other than that, I have no complaints about the brakes. I've used them quite heavily on certain situations and really enjoyed them. Car still makes me smile, so that's a great thing. I love the turn-in. So let's talk about handling, right? Turn-in was good with the OEM suspension. Adding the Swift springs, I noticed the turn-in was a little bit better. It bites a little harder. I will say that it does still push a little bit. It got rid of some of the push, but I think these cars are just set up to push from factory to keep people safe. We're going to add some control arms to it, a little more camber, and set this thing up to, you know, really kind of get the end of the car to move out a little bit more instead of pushing. But other than that, the handling's been great. It still has the Subaru front end bounce into hard corners that have a little bump to them. The front end is just not as forgiving as I would like it to be. Like this corner up here. Turn in, foot on the gas. You can feel the front end wash just a little bit. And we're going to turn in again. Apply gas. And there you go. So I am happy with the handling. It's a lot of fun on the street. It makes me nervous sometimes when there are some undulations, just because you can feel the front end wash, and then the steering gets a little light, so I'd like to figure out how to fix that. So the handling has been great for me. The interior, well, let's talk about the interior, right? The interior has been pretty awesome. Suede steering wheel, really looks nice. The gauges, the gauge cluster is easy to read, can see everything. The only thing for me is it's the same as was my 2015 STi. They didn't really do anything for me. The stereo in this car is terrible. It's terrible. It sucks. It's terrible. You can't hear anything with the windows down, put an exhaust in the car, still can't hear anything. So mostly when I drive this car, I have the radio off because it does nothing for me. Why they didn't put the nav system or the upgraded speakers in the Type R Array blows my mind, because it's so expensive, and I know they didn't want to add the weight. But come on, guys, what are we talking about? 8 pounds, 9 pounds? Not a big deal. If you're paying $50,000 for an STi at the top of its game, it should have everything that is included in a premium STi, all the creature comforts. So other than that, everything has been, in my opinion, pretty wonderful. The Recaro seats are nice. I wish they would hug you a little bit better, but they are made for the American market. And remember, us Americans were fat, so they made them a little bit wider. But the headroom in this car, the room in this car for a family is phenomenal. My Focus RS, you were squeezed in, not much room. The center console came here. You really didn't have much room. That when I got in this car, I went, holy moly, there's a lot of room in here. Great for family, great for 4 adults, which is something to say in a car like this, because you've got plenty of headroom, plenty of space in the rear. And I'll show you that in a minute here. The short throw shifter, awesome. The gears are great, nice short throws. It's always where you need it to be. With the shorter gear in the Type RA, you always have power in any gear ready to go at any time, which is phenomenal. It is a little notchy when it's cold. I have noticed that. It doesn't like to really go in gear too easy, but once it warms up, it's butter. And it's been like that since I got it. I remember my 2015 STi kind of being the same way, but that's okay. That's just the little things. The rear seat room, phenomenal. I'm 6 foot and I can get in the back there, no problem. My knees don't touch the seat, and if I'm sitting in my driving position as well, which not a lot of cars can do that or say that. The trunk, huge. It's huge. You could fit a couple golf bags in there. You could probably fit about 3 golf bags in there. I've gotten in the trunk, no problem. So tons of room there. I can't complain. The engine, let's move on to the engine, right? EJ25, they, I believe, made the material on the rods a little stronger, or the pistons a little stronger, and they kind of beefed up the motor. Some guys out there are making 500 wheel horsepower. One guy's making 600 wheel on an unopened block with just bolt-ons and big turbos and rotated kits, which is phenomenal because, as we all know, the older EJ got to 400 and we were pushing it a little bit, and everybody was worried about blowing up. So I think it hasn't been long enough to know whether 500 horsepower is going to be that number for a stock motor, but hats off to Subaru for realizing that this is a tuner car and everybody messes with their WRX or the STI. So hopefully it's strong enough. I want to be around 400 wheel to 500 wheel. 400 wheel for track application, 500 to just be on corn and have a little fun. So I am happy with the motor. I know about the EJ. This is my 3rd STI. I love the motor. I love how torquey it is. I love how you always have power in the mid-range, all the way to the top end. So that always puts a smile to my face. The things that I've done to the motor as far as the downpipe, the exhaust, and the Cop Tuner Stage 2. I know, it's not pro-tuned yet, but I love the Cop product. It's a safe product. I have been happy with the OTS Stage 2, and you know, you guys, everybody's up to their own opinion on what they want to do in pro-tune. I know a couple tuners. It's the summertime. They've told me that the injector cycle will, when it gets cold, have a real hard time keeping up. But in the summer right now, it's, you know, 95 degrees and it's 10 o'clock in Florida. So I keep an eye on my injector cycle, and I haven't seen above 83% yet. So I'm happy about that. I love the way the car feels. The response has been so much better. It goes all the way to redline with power. It's easier to drive. I couldn't be happier with the power setup, but obviously we all want more. So it'll be getting more here soon. But driving it has been a lot of fun. It's cool to have an STi that kids wave at, people give you thumbs up, older people come up and say, man, I've been into hot rods my whole life. This is such a cool car. And when I tell them it's like this from factory, it kind of blows their mind. So it's really cool to see. And if you're a car guy, you definitely understand that. When we come to economics, ergonomics, however you want to say it, fuel has been pretty good. I get about 20 to 21 miles a gallon, but on average, city driving. But to be honest, this is not my daily, so when I get in it, I want to have a little fun, so I do push it pretty hard, and I do watch fuel economy go down. But other than that, I mean, it's been great. I'm really enjoying the car. There's a couple things I think Subaru messed up on. It has like no sound deadening in it. It is super loud outside the car as it is inside the car. If you have a conversation in the car, the person standing outside your window can hear everything you say, no problem. It's kind of odd, which doesn't help with a louder exhaust because there is no sound deadening, it seems, and it can be pretty loud. And I've had this exhaust on 3 of my Subis, and I don't remember it being as loud as it is now. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, or maybe it's because I've got a kid and I worry about those things now. But I think it sounds awesome, but at times it can be a little bit loud. And I know there's other exhausts that are quiet, but I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of sound deadening in these cars. And if you own one, you understand. Sit inside the back seat and talk to your friend or spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever, they'll be able to hear you. And so that is something that I think is a little disappointing. Again, in a $50,000 Subaru, I think they could have made it a little more luxury or put a little more into it. And I get it, it's a weight savings thing. You didn't buy this car for luxury, or you don't buy this car for luxury. You buy it because it's unique, it's fun, and it's ready to go out of the box. So other than that, man, I can't say enough. I want to thank everybody for all the kind words and the encouragement, as well as subscribing and following the channel and encouraging me to make more videos about the car. I've had a lot on my mind lately, so it's always fun to get out and drive this car. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, any questions or comments or anything about the car that you've got questions about, I'd be happy to answer them. They're a lot of fun. So please hit subscribe.